All right, so now we're live. Ah, okay. Hey fam, what's good? It's your girl Ariel, and I am so glad to be here because we decided to take another route. We're back on YouTube, but we're gonna be really consistent this time, okay? And I am here to give a life update. So as you can see from my latest IG post, I have been out the country for quite some time. I decided to sign on a 9-month contract after graduating from St. John's University, and I moved to Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire is a country in West Africa. It's next door to Ghana. It is under, I ain't even gonna play that game, but it's next door to Ghana, okay? And I know a lot of people know Ghana because it is an Anglophone country. Côte d'Ivoire is a Francophone country. Hold up, it's raining? Y'all hear that? Right when I start my video. All right, give me a moment because I don't know how it's sounding on audio. Okay, your girl is back. I can't really regulate how it's gonna sound. I'm just gonna pray that it sounds great, okay? I gotta also look right here. And I put my nice shades on. I know y'all are gonna ask, where'd your girl get these shades? Because you love the frames. Everyone does. That's why I bought it. They're from Z-Law. This is not, what is this? This is not an ad, okay? This is just me really loving this and putting these on all the time. I don't need glasses, but your girl likes to wear them. And I got these UV protective, blue light reflecting, because I want to protect these beautiful eyes that I got. Anyway, I have my nice handy dandy card to keep me on track. I didn't really want to use my phone, trying to look a little bit more elevated, more professional. So we're going to be using this card to guide me throughout this conversation. So first point, getting accepted into Fulbright and others. So straight out of undergrad, before I even graduated, I was on it. I was like, what are the opportunities that exist? How can I get onto them? Shout out to my mentor, Sam Pierre, who was like, you can never have enough or more than enough eggs in your basket. And he was absolutely right. So when he had told me something along those lines, I went looking for all the opportunities. Oh, this is exactly what he said. He said, a wealthy man has so many opportunities, like a wealth of opportunities. And I was like, I want to be wealthy, so I'm going to have a wealth of opportunities to select. And I love the opportunities being able to be in front of me and I could pick, but it's not the other way around where you're forced to have to choose just one. So because I didn't like feeling confined, I applied to so many things, and by the grace of God, I was able to be accepted. Whether it was continuing education at a different university or at St. John's University continuing my master's because I was already in their BA/MA program for government and politics, or it was me going into like this Fulbright. I also got accepted as a finalist into Princeton in Africa, which was also great. So I didn't really know where I was going. I didn't really intend to go to Africa. I was trying to go to Haiti, y'all, or Jamaica, trying to go back to my roots, right? But they were either Haiti was locked down or non-existent for these programs, or secondarily, Jamaica was focused for science kids, for like healthcare, etc. And I was like, obviously that's not me. So long story short, I decided to apply, got accepted, and upon acceptance, y'all, I get denied for South Africa, but they didn't tell me that I got denied. They were talking about how like there were issues happening. So I was like, oh, I was under the impression because of the femicide that was happening, there was no more Fulbright in South Africa. However, what really ended up happening is that I was being relocated, especially for like the ability of being able to speak French. They were putting me in Africa, and Côte d'Ivoire didn't have enough Fulbrighters that were going. I really wish I did a Fulbright video with all the other Fulbrighters in my cohort, because just how we got into Côte d'Ivoire was just a funny occurrence. I think only one person applied to be in Côte d'Ivoire, but everyone else applied to be in different parts of Africa, sub-Saharan Africa to be exact, okay? So I get this email and they're like, oh, are you interested in being a Fulbrighter in Côte d'Ivoire? And I'm like, what? Like, come again? I didn't even have Côte d'Ivoire in my mind, and I was like, all right, let's see. They said, yeah, you could have an interview next week. And I was like, all right, let me follow through with this interview. Did it. They loved me. I loved them. It was great. You know, I speak French already. So I'm like, oh, big money, easy money. We are out. Y'all, I was like, so if I happen to decline Côte d'Ivoire, what happens? They're like, oh, well, then you're no longer in the program. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to Côte d'Ivoire. So although I wasn't really like on the country really chose me. I'll do another video more in depth about my experience in Côte d'Ivoire, But at the end of the day, I'm glad that I was accepted to such a prestigious program. People like Maya Angelou, several presidents, Nobel Peace Prize winners, so many people that have grand titles who have made such an incredible impact in this world have been Fulbrighters in their lifetime. And to be amongst that rank, that is such an honor. You know, it's such a prestigious honor. And just going through different rounds of interviews, being able to be accepted as a scholar and honored in academia in that way, and then also having the opportunity to pick between them and several opportunities including Princeton and Africa, it was like, yo, this is really lit, like straight off of undergrad. So not to brag, but to really like, glory to God, this worked very well in my favor, or so I thought. That's another video, another story that I gotta make. Now we're gonna continue on getting accepted into Fulbright. So the reason why that y'all didn't really know, so a lot of people didn't know unless if you were in my close friends, which is really my close friends, y'all, on Instagram. It is majority, like let me say 75-80% my cousins. Straight up my cousins are in there. 10-15%, yeah, let's say 15% is just are close friends, like people I grew up with, childhood friends from college. Those people are really tight with me. And then the other 5% is because I really like them. I love their content and we just happen to vibe very well on the gram. And I'm like, look, y'all are my close friends, like, and they have me on their close friends, so I'm like, oh, this is just perfect. Like, I love this. Good energy, great vibes. So those people knew that I was living in Côte d'Ivoire. Other people, like my mentors, they knew what was up. And I was very grateful to have a private group of people who knew. Now, the reason why I say private group is because walking into this year, as I was coming into 23, I'm a New Year's baby, January 3rd, okay? The thing was to practice privacy. I knew even before then, I was like, I don't know if I want to tell people that I moved yet. Also, another disclaimer is on here. I moved to ATL. That's another thing. So many things happened. Moved to Georgia in August. Moved to Côte d'Ivoire September. Crazy whirlwind. All worked out well, okay? So I wanted to be private about that. I said I'm developing as a woman. There are certain things, like I was just always transparent. I am a transparent person, very vulnerable. Like, you want to know something about me, I'm an open book. And as much as I love that about me, especially growing up, it was a double-edged sword. Like, it could work for me and it could work against me. So I wanted this to start working in my favor, and I figured, girl, start practicing privacy this year. And that's what I did exactly. So I didn't post about it. People didn't know. I ended up coming back, let's say 3 weeks after my first flight to Côte d'Ivoire. I caught malaria. That's also another video. My mom gets informed all of a sudden, hearing that we got 40% to live, girl. Me. Y'all didn't even know that your girl was out here almost... Thank God, almost dying, y'all, outside. But thank God that I'm still alive, okay? And I beat that. But anywho, long story short, I end up flying back to the States. I got medically evacuated. Serious stuff, y'all, serious stuff. And then, you know, I recovered. 3 months later, January 17th, I end up flying back to Côte d'Ivoire, finishing my Fulbright up until this past weekend, which was June 5th, June 4th, okay? Privacy is such a beautiful thing to practice, and I think it's something, whether you're a man, a woman, whomever, you should always practice privacy in your life. There are certain things that people, they will know in due time. It doesn't mean that they shouldn't know, but they will know in due time. Certain things need to be protected, and I didn't feel like I was in danger. It wasn't really of that. It was more like a test for myself, something I wanted to do to refine myself as a woman, okay? And I'm really glad that I did it. Funny enough, I was gonna post about this in May. And it was the top of May. I was gonna be like, hey, I had my whole caption still in my notes. It was Teachers Appreciation Week. I was saying, hi, I'm a teacher in Côte d'Ivoire, working with the embassy, all this type of stuff. And then all of a sudden, that moment where I was posting this picture that I posted on my gram, okay? On my gram, excuse me, this today, all of a sudden, someone hacks my page. That's also gonna have to be another video. Someone hacks my Instagram page, IG sees this, they end up disabling it. Apparently, there's just been a whole series of hackings that's been happening with people in Nigeria, and it didn't really look good when I'm applying on these forms telling Instagram like, hey, my Instagram is hacked. They're seeing me in Côte d'Ivoire because they were like asking for your location. Me, I should have said I was still in New York, but you know, I said I was in Côte d'Ivoire. And they did not give me my Instagram back. Thank God I got somebody who was at Meta that I know from church and my community, and he was able to plug in. Thank you so much, Teddy. Amazing dude. Long story short, we're moving on. Next. Okay, yes, so I already mentioned it, double whammy move from Brooklyn to Georgia, and then from Georgia to CD, which is Côte d'Ivoire. I love Brooklyn. I will always be a Brooklyn girl forever in my heart, and I will be outside real soon, back home, really soon. However, it was such a necessary move. I'm so grateful that God would allow that. You know, it's just me and my mommy, and so we went, and I'm really like in love with being out here. Now I'm really settled in because I moved to Georgia in August, and then right after, let's say 2 to 3 weeks later, pop out to Côte d'Ivoire. Then I get sick and I'm here for 3 more months. And I don't have like a large community, definitely not like how I do back in the tri-state, New York, New Jersey type of area, Connecticut, Massachusetts, blah, blah, blah. It's not the same type of relationship, right? But I'm building that out here. Thank God I have a church family out here, Victory Church, you know, specifically Fusion, ATL, Norcross. Pop out, you'll see me, say hello. I will always be there giving you kisses, warming you up. So if you ever want to pop out, come out on Tuesdays. But that became my community, and it's so lit because it's people who share the faith that I have, but then they're also so driven outside of the 4 walls of the church. And I'm like, yo, this is what the church should look like. We should be bosses outside and like really doing kingdom work inside and out. Long story short, transition was beautiful. I'm so grateful because I strongly believe that this is divinely orchestrated. This was definitely orchestrated this way for me to be here. And yeah, I'm grateful. Like, I'm loving it. And just having space. If y'all know anything about Brooklyn, I'm from the Floss. There is no space. There is no space. You're like people on people on people. And again, it gives you this communal effect, but sometimes it's like, dang, I just need space. Now I've got a whole lot of it and I don't really know what to do, okay? But I'm gonna figure it out. And so then from Georgia to Côte d'Ivoire, that in itself was definitely a longer flight than having to go from New York to Côte d'Ivoire. So this was a kind of 18-hour flight. I had to stop in Paris when I was like going and then coming back. But when I was sick, I have stopped in Turkey, which is cool because I get to travel the world, you know, see what's out there. But yeah, moving to Côte d'Ivoire was different. Definitely the luxuries that you get to have as a first world person living in what people would label as third world, but it was definitely different. Having a 2-bedroom apartment, right? 2 patios, 3 bathrooms. Y'all, I'm paying $600 something. I was like, Lord, if you could just transport this and the price to New York or to Georgia, like this is lit. And so, yeah, things like that was definitely privilege that I had, that I was grateful to experience. Living in Côte d'Ivoire, I'm telling you, that's a whole video in itself. This cannot be done here. This is just a life update video because I really want y'all to know what's going on. So moving on, getting accepted, redid that, coming back for 3 months, surviving grave case of malaria. I also feel like that should be a video because that's a testimony. Your girl came back and got baptized again. Whole story too. Y'all probably saw this on my gram. It's still up there. So glad that the Lord made that happen too. And so the last part of this video is experience living abroad. So that, I guess I'll talk more about this right now. Living abroad, it was a beautiful experience to a certain degree, depending on which aspect of my experience you want to know. when it came to speaking the language, I didn't need much like immersion, language immersion, because you know, we speak French, I'm Haitian, we speak Creole, we speak Haitian Creole, but French is like the secondary language, and it's also something that I grew up hearing. My mom's a French teacher, like I've always just heard this, our Bible's in French, like I speak it. So being able to be in a different country and already understanding that language, it kind of already put me up there like, all right, could catch these opportunities. It was pretty good because I was with the US State Department, or under the US State Department at the embassy, and I'm getting connections left and right. Like, hey, could you come do this conference? Hey, could you come to speak at this place, at this school, at this university? And so I decided to make this an opportunity to bring my brand, the Luminous Lab, okay, out there. And let me just give a little trinket. The Luminous Lab is a lifestyle, specifically a luxury lifestyle brand that I wanted to establish a while ago, right? This was back in 2019, 2020, and it's focused on the professional development and personal refinement of underrepresented groups of people, right? And specifically serving creatives and different professionals. And I wanted to bring that out. Mind you, the goal was to start with this in New York. God had different plans because your girl started it abroad. So first off, it's a whole global brand, okay? And I love that because it's more than just being about luxury in the superficial way. It's more about the luxuries that you can create for yourself in your everyday life, but using the assets of professional development, using the assets of you refining yourself as a better person, right? So giving those toolboxes and offering my network to people, especially abroad, it was such an exhilarating experience for me because I knew that people were able to see me as someone that they could come to build who they are. And it was so cool because I got to expose them to my identities, like as a Black woman, as a child of an immigrant, as a first gen college student, like so many identities that I embody. And I wasn't able to just say like, oh, you know, this is how it is living in America. I got to give them different perspectives on, hey, I also come from a community that's not so what people would say privileged, like coming from Brooklyn, specifically Canarsie. What are the experiences like? And also being privileged to go to the best schools out in New York, you know, that was also a privilege that people in my community also didn't have. But being able to share that wealth of knowledge to them, which they were able to use as applicable information for their research or for their college dissertation, whatever have you, I became an asset to them. So I love that part. That was fun, like really fun, etc. In addition to that, I was able to really spearhead research, and not only spearhead the research, but create different pockets of meetups. So me and my good sisters, Khadijah and Temi, were able to facilitate a women empowerment conference that was focused on 3 different pillars: financial literacy, that's me, your girl over here, on mental wellness and physical wellness, okay? And it was so beautiful because the women who were there were able to use these toolkits that we were able to bring to them and, you know, establish themselves, also have a heart-to-heart with different people in their community, network. These opportunities that we see as regular out here in the States, it's not typically the same elsewhere. So bringing out what networking opportunities looks like, what building sisterhood, brotherhood, etc. hood, like bringing that out there, that perspective was something definitely fresh and not frequently seen. So I love that. You know, we were able to emphasize that. Although there is a communal aspect of living in Côte d'Ivoire, this was definitely like, you know, top notch. So this part, living in Côte d'Ivoire, when it comes to cultural immersion, you know, I love their music too. It's pretty lit. Coupe décalé, y'all are lit, okay? A lot of them, they listen to Zouk too. So, you know, being an island Antilles girl, it was pretty cool because I was hearing, I have to play this part. Malen Kave. I taught my kids Se Papudat. Tell me how I'm in the car. In a Yango. That's another thing. They got Ubers like Lyft out there. You could get it on your phone, and they also got Uber Eats, but it's not called Uber Eats. I'm just saying it so you could understand. But oh my goodness, how is it already escaping me? There's Jumia and there's another app which is escaping me, and I'll probably like insert it here. But Glovo, boom. And so I'm just like, wow, I'm in the car. I'm hearing c'est vous-même qui m'avez choisi. I said, ah, this is C'est pas pour that. It was so wow. So I've had so many experiences like this, and I was like, wow, like this is so lit. I feel like I'm home away from home. Now, y'all, I'm also a bit on the romanticizing this right now because your girl went through some real troubles, and she will explain this, okay? I will explain this in a separate video on my Fulbright experience, not necessarily my Côte d'Ivoire experience. So this is gonna equip y'all who are applying. And again, this is very singular to the particular country I was placed in and the people that I was serviced by, or the lack thereof. However, I'm gonna make sure I make a video about this. Not gonna be coming at people, but gotta inform you, okay? So there's that. When it came down to the food was different. They said that I was gonna become Ivorian when I eat their food. Achike, aloko, garba, all of that. I'm still Haitian and Jamaican. Let me stop. The food was good, but the food was good. However, I have to say, as a Caribbean girl, I know I got friends who are Ivorian, Ghanaian, Nigerian. Y'all are all throughout the continent and beyond. I'ma always have to stick to my roots. And you know, that's just how my taste buds are. I'm going to always love my home. Send me to the West Indies, okay? But all of that to say, the food was good, but I'm still a Caribbean girl, okay? So the music is lit. The nightlife scene was cool. I didn't always go out because your girl needs coins to come out. You're gonna learn more about that with the Fulbright experience, about what's up with my money. Anyway, so that kind of like took away my nightlife experience, but I was outside sometimes. Sometimes I was outside. It was cute. You don't got to look nice and whatever. There is a big foreign population, like Asians and Lebanese and things like that. So that was cool to see. But then what I didn't really like is the fact that you would see them being the people that serviced Ivorians and they were making profits. So you see this in Haiti too. I'm pretty sure you see this in many countries, not coming at Lebanese people or Asian people, but it's just very interesting that y'all are always in these countries and not really giving equal pay or equity to the people who actually live there. So the leverage that these foreign people have, especially of lighter tone and, you know, certain privileges, they have a lot that they profit off of our backs, which has been historically seen. That's also a different conversation to have, and it's just probably not for this video. So overall, my experience in Côte d'Ivoire was pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna miss the kids that I taught. I love them so much. I'm probably gonna make this video dedicated to them, like another one on my gram. So stay tuned to hear more. If you want to know different things about Fulbright, different career opportunities, academia opportunities, let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you communicate. Let me know what you want to see next, especially about my experiences. I've been to about 10 countries so far, and fully funded. I haven't paid for one yet, and I'm actually very grateful for that. All either on career opportunities, pitching, entrepreneurship, because you know your girl loves those type of stuff. I haven't really talked about it much on my page, but I am a great pitcher, and I'm gonna start talking more about this. And then also off of academic opportunities. So let me know what you'd like to hear next, because I'm pretty sure that I could be resourceful to you. And I'm gonna be having a masterclass real soon, so stay tuned on my gram to hear more about how you could be a part to level up the game in academia or in entrepreneurship, social media, things like this. You're gonna get more info. I won't be long-winded anymore because I'm pretty sure this video is a bit too long now. But if you stayed all the way to this part, I want to thank you so much for listening. It's your girl Ari Laura, and I will catch you later. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you're waiting for me to talk about next. Hit me in my DMs because I'm very responsive and I'm excited to hear from you soon. And you know what? I'm going to close off with this. On a respect to my family. On a respect means honor, respect in Creole. I just love that, okay? It's like a greeting that we have. It's very old, so if you really about Haiti, you probably know this, okay? So, on a respect, and I'm going to catch y'all later. Bisous.